My left leg was amputated. When the accident happened, I pushed Ethan out of the way. He walked away unscathed, but my left leg got caught under the wheels. Out of gratitude, he married me while I was still in a wheelchair. For over a decade of marriage, we supported each other through life's occasional turbulence. Though our days weren't perfect, I considered us reasonably happy. Everything changed when I died from respiratory failure caused by chronic myelitis. At my graveside, Ethan sat murmuring, "You lost your leg saving me, and I spent over a decade chained to your wheelchair. Now that you're gone, I'm finally free. We're even in this lifetime. If there's another, let's never meet again." He burned our marriage certificate before the tombstone. 3 months later, he remarried with great fanfare. The bride was Amelia, his college sweetheart. During the ring exchange, he choked up while embracing her. "Our daughter and I have kept you waiting too long." When I opened my eyes again, I was back at the accident scene. Summer sunlight stung my eyes. Heat radiated from the pavement beneath my intact legs, real, solid legs that hadn't felt ground in decades. My tears fell freely. Ethan looked up from his phone, concerned. "What's wrong? Why are you crying?" Through my blurred vision, the 22-year-old Ethan appeared, radiant with youthful vitality. His eyes clear and unburdened by the weariness I'd known in later years. I'd forgotten how dazzling he looked before our marriage turned him hollow. His brow furrowed at my scrutiny, that familiar micro-expression signaling impending disapproval. My chest tightened. "You're still upset about the jail incident?" He reached to wipe my tears. "I told you. That creep tried to assault Amelia. I had to smash the bottle." I stepped back, cutting him off. "No explanations needed. Your choices are yours alone." Ethan froze mid-sentence. "What do you mean?" Glancing at my healthy legs, I answered calmly, "Exactly that. By the way, the $57.170 I paid for your bail and victim compensation, that was my student loan money. I'll need repayment ASAP." Last lifetime, I'd been stunned when model student Ethan got arrested for bar fighting. The honors student who never raised his voice, brawling with street thugs. I'd emptied my savings to free him, never imagining this act of devotion would chain us both for life. When I finally saw Ethan clearly, I froze in shock. Ethan looked utterly disheveled with bruised cheeks, a torn sleeve, and scabbed hands, a stark contrast to the composed young man I'd known for 3 years in college. He hastily explained that Amelia and her friends had been harassed by a drunk at the bar. "We couldn't just stand by," he said, mentioning he and Mike had intervened, though puzzled why Ethan suddenly frequented bars. I trusted his earnest nature. We respected each other's independence as partners. Saving someone from assault seemed noble, especially since Amelia was their high school classmate now studying music at our university. She'd always struck me as graceful and kind. Yet Ethan's choice to smash a bottle over the drunk's head felt dangerously extreme. The case settled through mediation, avoiding criminal charges. Oddly, police reports omitted the assault allegations, framing it as mere brawling. The truth surfaced years later during Mike's housewarming party. 2 months before my death, chronic myelitis and PTSD had left me gaunt and withdrawn. While guests chatted inside, I retreated to the moonlit garden, absently tracing my prosthetic leg. Through an open window, voices carried, "Ethan, how do you tolerate Ivy's Ice Queen act? She looked ready to murder someone all night." Mike's wife complained. Ethan murmured apologies as another voice cut in, "Disabled people aren't usually this self-centered. You threw away Amelia, our high school golden couple, for this hag who looks decades older? What a joke!" Memories resurfaced, how they'd pressured Ethan to reunite with Amelia after her breakup. Her drunken bar stunt with that thug. The staged photos sent to provoke Ethan, his violent response that nearly landed him in prison until I secured lawyers and paid damages. Mike exhaled smoke. At least Amelia betrayed him first with that rich upperclassman. Otherwise, why'd Ethan settle for her lookalike Ivy? Laughter followed. Hey! He married his savior. Debt paid. Right? In the shadows. My throat constricted. The glowing cigarette in Ethan's hand pulsed like my fading heartbeat. The emotional collapse hit me like a tidal wave. So that's how it was? From their fragmented conversation, I pieced together the full story. Amelia Carter and Ethan had been each other's first love. The brilliant guy and the stunning girl, everyone said they walked straight out of a YA novel. But after starting college, Amelia met a senior with a Ferrari. On their breakup day, Ethan drowned his sorrows in alcohol. He waited outside Amelia's dorm for 3 days, never getting the explanation he craved. Less than a year later, Amelia's new relationship crashed. She started reaching out to Ethan constantly, wanting to rekindle their romance. Problem was, Ethan and I were already officially dating. She wouldn't quit. Every morning she'd buy breakfast at the cafeteria and wait outside the male dorms. Love letters and scented envelopes got slipped into Ethan's backpack via Mike. After a year of this, Ethan still didn't budge. Then came her birthday. She booked a hotel room and wore lingerie she bought as self-gift, her way of closing the chapter on their youth. Just this once, she vowed. Then I'll disappear. Ethan never showed. Drunk and desperate, Amelia video called Ethan from a bar. Some stranger's hand was already down her plunging neckline. When Ethan rushed over, he found her skirt hiked up in a booth. Some creep pawing at her. Red mist descended. Ethan yanked her free and threw punches. When overpowered, he grabbed a bottle and smashed it over the guy's head. You know the rest. That bottle nearly destroyed Ethan's future. The victim refused to settle, demanding jail time. I contacted a lawyer I knew from translation gigs. Begged at the hospital for weeks. Finally negotiated a deal, $50,000 compensation plus medical bills. Ethan couldn't let his parents know. I fronted the money using scholarship funds and translation earnings. The amputation happened returning from the detention center. Ethan suddenly darted across the street to a convenience store. That black sedan swerved. I reacted before thinking. Shoved him clear. My left leg got crushed under tires. Massive tissue necrosis. They took the leg to save my life. Post-surgery, Ethan clutched my hand, tearfully vowing to care for me forever. I dropped out of grad school, became a shut-in in his crummy rental. My only outings were physical therapy. After graduation, Ethan skipped job hunting to launch a media startup. Used my remaining $800,000 accident compensation as seed money. My rehab got cut off. Years later, my primary physician, Ben, told me that if I'd completed all rehabilitation treatments initially, my chronic myelitis might not have become permanent. Time passed. Ethan took me home to meet his parents. When his parents discovered their son intended to marry a woman missing a leg, their faces hardened like cast iron. They didn't bother with basic courtesy, publicly berating me before relatives. They called me shameless, a cripple, a burden dragging down their son. Their insults meant nothing. What choice did I have? I'd lost my leg saving Ethan. The amputation left me with severe PTSD. Every night I wrestled with terror and despair. In my condition, Ethan remained my best option. How dare they demand I let go? Never. I'd rather die. My recovery faltered. Chronic myelitis ravaged me. Before 40, my hair whitened completely. My face aging decades. Ethan hired 2 live-in nurses and deposited $20,000 monthly into my account. He rarely came home. And when he did early, he'd hide in his study till midnight. Always busy. Always traveling. The night Mike hosted his housewarming, my PTSD triggered violent tremors and labored breathing, requiring emergency hospitalization. I demanded answers from Ethan. He kept avoiding me. 2 months later, I died from osteomyelitis-induced respiratory failure. Ethan never came. Not even at the end. My spirit lingered. I watched nurses drape the sheet. Saw dawn light creep through windows. Witnessed Ethan's belated arrival at my corpse. Relief flooded his face. After the funeral, he sat smoking by my fresh grave. "Grace," he said, "you lost your left leg saving me. And I've been chained to you for over a decade. Now you're gone. We're even. If there's another life, let's never meet again." He burned our marriage certificate on the tombstone. I followed Ethan to a luxury villa. A silk nightgowned woman ran out barefoot, flinging herself into his arms. "Amelia." She hugged his waist, murmuring, "Don't grieve too much, honey. Now that she's gone, we can finally be a proper family." He nodded silently. That evening I saw their 9th-grade daughter. But we'd only been married 15 years. My supposedly stable marriage had been rotting for ages. Perhaps my raging hatred showed. Ethan softened his tone, almost groveling. "Don't be angry. I'll transfer the money ASAP. Let's get your favorite desserts. Okay?" I recoiled from his reaching hand. He froze mid-gesture, stunned. His phone rang suddenly. Checking the caller ID, he shot me a panicked glance. "Grace. Wait here." He stammered. "I need to take this." Then he covered the phone receiver and stepped further away. "Amelia," his lowered voice drifted on the wind. "Don't worry. I've handled everything. I'm already out of the detention center." After an indistinct response from the other end, I watched his ear tips flush pink. He murmured, "What brand of tampons do you use?" "Got it. Stay in your dorm if the cramps are bad. I'll bring tampons and painkillers later." When Ethan turned back after hanging up, residual tenderness still lingered on his face. He awkwardly suggested, "Ivy, something came up. Maybe head back to campus first? I'll bring desserts to your dorm later." My gaze flickered to the constant notifications flooding Ethan's phone. "Don't bother. I've got evening plans anyway." The man exhaled imperceptibly. "All right. Be safe going back." In the slanting sunlight, I watched him hurry toward the crosswalk. Memories of my left leg being crushed under tires in our previous life surfaced that split second of terror and despair. Suddenly I blurted, "Ethan!" He turned with that familiar smile. "What's up, Ivy?" I stared at this man who'd stayed by my side for nearly 2 decades last lifetime. The same man who'd knelt by my hospital bed swearing eternal devotion. The sunset cast bloody halos around him as the walk signal lit up. "Watch the traffic," I said tonelessly. "Wouldn't want you getting hit." Ethan grinned. "Relax. Your boyfriend's got 9 lives." I walked away without looking back. 12 seconds later. Screeching tires. The sickening thud of impact. Screams erupted behind me. "Call 911. Someone got hit." My nails dug crescent moons into my palms as I clutched my canvas bag strap. The crowd surged toward the intersection. Bile rose violently in my throat, and I doubled over retching. Back at the dorm, my roommate's anxious eyes met mine. "Ivy," she slid her phone toward me. "This post just went up. Is that Ethan from our class?" The campus forum headline glared, "School of Finance student Ethan Harper seriously injured near Cultural Plaza." Pixelated photos couldn't obscure the dark stain spreading across asphalt. My phone vibrated with an unknown landline number. I tapped speakerphone. The phone buzzed with a woman's urgent voice. "Hello. Is this Ivy? This is City Second Hospital's ER. Ethan was in a car accident with critical injuries. We need you or his family to come immediately." I frowned. Shouldn't hospitals contact the school or family directly? Why call me? "Sorry," I replied. "Ethan and I are just classmates. You should reach out to his family." The voice hesitated. "You're his only emergency contact. Could you notify his relatives?" "I don't have their information. Goodbye." I hung up decisively. 3 stunned faces gaped at me. Their jaws hung like broken marionettes. but I pushed past them into the bathroom without explanation. 4 days. Classmates had clustered like vultures, their gossip dying mid-sentence when I approached. Let them whisper. I attended lectures, ate alone, buried myself in library books. On the 4th morning, Mike blocked me in the hallway, anger tightening his features. Do you have any heart, Ivy? Ethan's leg is shattered. Doctors say he might never walk properly. Just a limp? My voice stayed flat. I lost my entire left leg last time. His expression twisted. The whole class visited him, even his rival Zach went. But his girlfriend? Not one call. Are you made of stone? I rolled my eyes. Maybe Zach went to mock him. You, he sputtered, momentarily speechless. Shouldn't you be notifying Amelia instead? The color drained from his face as the bell rang. Shouldering past him, I entered the classroom to his hissed condemnation. You're the coldest person I've ever met. My lips curled into a sneer. Cold? Compared to you backstabbing hypocrites. I'm practically warm. Yet I found myself at the hospital anyway. The room reeked of antiseptic and decay. Ethan's right leg resembled a mummy's limb, yellow-stained bandages oozing brownish red. They said infection risk delayed surgery. The man propped on pillows looked decades older. Cheeks hollowed like mine had been. His eyes lit up when I entered. Ivy, you came. He shifted eagerly, wincing as pain contorted his face. Then his gaze dropped to my intact left leg. His breath hitched. I sat by his bed, my canvas bag shielding my thighs. His hoarse whisper clawed the silence. Why didn't you save me that day? You could have stopped it, I know you could. His voice was quiet but trembling with barely suppressed emotion. My chest tightened as a bitter ache spread through my limbs. Ethan, had he actually come back too? I stared coldly without answering. He shifted uncomfortably under my gaze, lips twisting into a sneer. How thoughtful of Ivy to finally visit after my car accident. What's the occasion? Did your summer vacation plans get cancelled? No, I said evenly. My finals end next month. I'm taking a trip abroad with friends instead of working this summer. That's why I need you to repay the $57.170 you owe me. Ethan's eyes widened, bloodshot veins creeping across the whites. His voice cracked. You came here, just to collect money? Ivy, are you completely heartless? Did you ever truly love me? A humorless laugh escaped me. This bastard dared question my love? How did he think I'd lost my leg last lifetime through some twisted choice? Memories flooded back, Mike casually mentioning how Ethan had used me as Amelia's replacement. That image of him sitting at my grave after my death. Still spewing lies. You think I'm some gullible fool you can manipulate forever? My voice dripped ice. He flinched. When have I ever? 17 years. I cut him off. 17 years I spent caring for your crippled ass in our past life. What more did you want? Caring? My nails bit into my palms. Those first 2 years before marriage. You helped occasionally. Mostly I hopped around on crutches alone. Then we married. You got rich. Hired a housekeeper and patted yourself on the back. How many times did you actually tend to me yourself? Ethan? His face flushed. I was working. Building our future. You think that $200K monthly allowance grew on trees? Working? I mocked. Fucking Amelia at Harbor Bay Villas counts as work. Attending your freshman daughter's parent-teacher conferences qualifies as business trips? At the names, Ethan blanched. After a loaded pause, he laughed strangely. You want truth? Every time we had sex, seeing that stump made me physically ill. I needed pills to stomach touching you. If that's what you call deception, then yes. I deceived you. Each word gutted me like poison steel. I clenched my jaw against trembling, refusing to let tears fall before this trash. Surging up, I slapped him hard enough to snap his head sideways. You fucking bastard. Why didn't that car finish you off? My palm stung as he worked his bleeding mouth. Drawing a shaky breath, I steadied my voice. I don't care about past grudges or saving your life anymore. Two things matter now we're done. And you'll repay every cent today. From now on, we're through for good. I stood by the hospital bed, arms crossed, watching coldly as Ethan made angry calls to relatives and friends for loans. When the Alipay notification chimed $57, 170 received, I blocked all his contacts in his face. As I turned to leave, his icy voice followed, Ivy. Let's see how well you can survive without me, relying solely on your scheming father and cunning stepmother. When you come crawling back, don't expect me to take you in. My steps faltered as memories flooded me, that vile woman. My mother's cousin who'd comforted my terminally ill mother straight into my father's bed. After Mom's death, she'd schemed to drive 14-year-old me from our home while Dad turned a blind eye. They'd tried forcing me to quit school until scholarships and selling Mom's gold bracelet saved my education. Ethan knew my hatred for those monsters. Yet he weaponized it against me. Rage exploded through my veins. Whirling around, I slapped him hard across his hospital bed, spitting in his face. Dream on, asshole. It's high noon, save your delusions for nighttime. He lunged at me, 4 lines snapping, only to crash to the floor with his injured leg. Ivy! He roared, face contorted with fury. I slammed the door on his screams. Though I severed all ties, campus whispers still reached me, his septicemia from surgical complications, month-long ICU stay, parental withdrawal paperwork. Amelia became his devoted nurse, posting gauzy hospital kiss photos that flooded forums with true love admiration. I drowned myself in TED Talks and interpreter training, BBC newscasts replacing sleep. By senior year's winter, when our paths crossed again near the man-made lake, Ethan resembled a gaunt specter arguing violently with Amelia. Ethan! Stay in your damn hovel! She shrieked, shoving him off as red-billed gulls scattered. You're embarrassing me in front of everyone. Sipping hot cocoa, I watched their theatrics with detached amusement. My interpreter certification freshly in hand and grad school acceptance letter burning in my pocket. Let the scavenger birds have their drama, ID long since learned to soar above it. I turned toward the sound. Behind the bare kapok tree, I spotted 2 familiar figures. In the bitter winter chill, Ethan wore only a wrinkled plaid shirt. His emaciated frame hunched over a cane made him look utterly pitiful. Ethan's bloodshot eyes glared as he sneered. Friends? You dare call yourselves friends? You were practically devouring each other. Since when do friends do that? Amelia? I took a temporary leave from school, and you couldn't wait to hook up with someone behind my back? No wonder you've been ignoring my calls and texts. If I hadn't come today, I'd never have caught you cheating. Amelia rolled her eyes. You don't get to control me. Did you actually think I'd marry you? If I'd known you'd end up permanently disabled, I'd never have dated you. My parents would disown me if I brought you home. You're disgusted by me now? Ethan trembled violently, cane clattering to the ground as he shouted hoarsely. I became like this for you. That accident happened because I was buying your anniversary gift. Then call the police. Amelia's voice turned arctic. Go ahead. Have them arrest me. You're the idiot who jaywalked. That driver was just unlucky enough to hit you. Stay away from me, we're done. She strode off without glancing back. Ethan collapsed sideways like a marionette with cut strings. I leaned against the frost-rimed window, a smirk playing on my lips as I watched the spectacle. When he finally struggled upright, our eyes locked through the glass. He froze mid-motion, face draining of color as recognition struck. Monday's 8 a.m. Class found me clutching steaming pork buns and soy milk. I'd barely settled into my seat when Samantha slid beside me, eyes sparkling with gossip. Ivy! She nudged my elbow conspiratorially. Did you hear? Ethan's art school girlfriend got caught banging some jock freshman. They were checking into a motel when he showed up. She vibrated with excitement. They brawled in the parking lot. But what chance did a cripple have against an athlete? They hauled him back to the ER last night. Police took the other two in for questioning too. My fingers paused on the breakfast wrapper. Feel vindicated? Samantha searched my face. Immensely. My smile didn't reach my eyes. They deserve each other. Atta girl. She grinned. You've barely smiled since dumping that loser. Forget toxic exes, decent guys are everywhere. I squeezed her hand gratefully. While others branded me a heartless opportunist for leaving Ethan post-accident, Samantha remained steadfast. The semester blurred by. After our final financial engineering exam, dorm rooms emptied as classmates departed for internships. I helped Samantha lug suitcases to her cab. Returning to our silent apartment, melancholy engulfed me. Freshman year introductions felt like yesterday. Now graduation loomed, scattering us like autumn leaves. The next time we met was probably during my thesis defense. I splashed some water on my face and stood before the mirror for a long time, feeling utterly hollow. Grabbing my canvas tote, I headed downstairs to buy milk and groceries from the supermarket that would close in 2 days. The moment I stepped out of the dormitory, I spotted a familiar figure leaning on crutches by the walkway. Ethan. I tried to slip past without acknowledgement, but he hopped forward clumsily when he saw me. Ivy, he said, eyes brightening. I need to talk to you. Get lost. I snapped. You're blocking my oxygen. His eyes reddened with theatrical sincerity. Ivy, please. I rented our old apartment from before. Let me help you move your things. We could spend New Year's together. I massaged my temples. Was he seriously expecting nostalgia for that suffocating shoebox? Ethan, what part of if there's another life? Let's never meet again, didn't you grasp? Stop this pathetic act. When I tried to push past, he grabbed my arm. I was wrong, a total idiot. Take me back. He slapped his own face twice. I'll treat you right this time. I swear. Holy fucking audacity. I wrenched free. Don't you dare touch me. What gives you the right? You're being cruel. He whimpered, tears welling. After being married for over a decade, how can you feel nothing? Cruel? This from the man who destroyed me in our past life. When he refused to budge, I kicked his good leg hard. He collapsed, his injured limb buckling. Consider that self-defense, I said, stepping over his sprawled form. You were harassing me. Kick me again if it helps. He called after me, weirdly exhilarated. I'll take it. By late February, my grad school entrance exam scores arrived, 20 points higher than my last mock test. I'd strategically applied to a respected second-tier university's competitive AI finance program rather than risk top-tier rejection. The next 6 months blurred with interview prep. I only heard about Ethan again after starting grad school. He kept harassing me post-kicking incident until I began summoning campus security or cops each time he appeared. Eventually, he stopped showing up. That day, I just stepped out of the finance lab when Shuiyan's voice message lit up my phone. She told me Amelia Carter and Ethan Harper had gotten married, inviting half our class. Weren't they broken up? I asked, only to hear the most explosive story. During her internship, Amelia worked as a music teacher at an elite private elementary school. She ended up entangled with a student's father. When the wife discovered their affair, she leaked their explicit car photos and obscene chat logs online. Since the man was an executive at a publicly traded company, hashtags like hashtag executive and intern teachers car passion and hashtag elite school homewrecker exposed trended overnight. Soon after, Amelia was drugged while walking home. She awoke with blood-soaked hands, both wrists tendons surgically severed. Though she regained basic mobility, her dreams of playing musical instruments died that night. So Ethan swooped in as her rescuer? I snorted. Shuiyan confirmed he vowed to care for her forever. Their wedding last week was lavish. My boyfriend attended. After grad school, I joined an international finance firm as a management trainee, constantly shuttling between Shanghai and Hong Kong. Busy as I was, I still dated an AI major from my alma mater. On Valentine's Day, my video call with him ran late. Hanging up past midnight, I found 100+ messages in our college group chat discussing Amelia and Ethan. Scrolling up, I found shared news: abused wife poisons family with rat poison. The mugshot showed Amelia in yellow detention vest, head bowed during interrogation. Her testimony chilled me. Married life became hell, caring for her disabled husband and toxic in-laws. Pregnant yet forced to scrub floors. She'd protested only to be shoved into a table. Miscarrying. Her husband beat her post-surgery, deriving sick pleasure from her begging. Escape attempts brought worse beatings. Finally broken, she laced their meals with poison until her mother-in-law's ER trip exposed everything. Reading this, I felt neither schadenfreude nor pity. True closure means their drama barely registers now. 18 months into the management trainee program, I finally passed my probation review. When HR handed over the offer letter, the base annual salary made me hold my breath. This didn't even include the performance bonuses I might receive at year-end. Life had truly brightened. I had a healthy body, a satisfying career, and a like-minded partner. In my previous life, I'd been trapped in agony, tormented by physical suffering. But now I stood at the threshold of a brand new existence, where the wind carried both biting cold and exhilarating freedom. Yet sometimes in the dead of night, I'd feel an inexplicable void in my heart. This lingering emptiness crystallized during an overturned shift when distant city lights triggered flashbacks of my father and stepmother's repulsive faces. Calculating the years, we hadn't spoken in 6 or 7. Time to show some familial concern. During vacation, I returned to my hometown. Coincidentally or not, my arrival coincided with my stepsister's engagement party. The entire family clearly adored her fiancé. My father and stepmother would have wagged non-existent tails skyward. The groom-to-be was a handsome factory heir, explaining my stepsister's starry-eyed adoration. Their reception of me remained frosty as ever, though they brightened when boasting about their golden catch. During my stay, I researched the fiancé's family factory. Discovering their front desk job posting, I invested heavily in hiring a stunning amateur actress. We crafted an elaborate script for her to infiltrate and seduce dear stepsister's beloved. Successful breakup would earn her $200K bonus. No illegal methods, just voluntary entanglement. The girl delivered spectacularly. Within 3 months, engagement dissolution rumors surfaced. 2 months later, she sent me in $888 red envelope and 2 marriage certificates, her face beaming beside the ex-fiancé in the photos. Before I could process this, her video call erupted with chirpy excitement. Sis, claim your red packet. Jamie and I are marrying next month. Will you be my bridesmaid? Right. I'll transfer your bonus to the usual account. Keep it. I should thank you for introducing Jamie. She paused dramatically. Though, I am pregnant now. Would you be godmother? When I hesitated, she dangled irresistible bait. If you ever need professional actresses again. Know any middle-aged ones? 40 to 50? Absolutely. She thumped her chest audibly. Send the wedding details, I'll be there. Some might call my stepsister innocent. But when her mother's affair made my bedridden mother hemorrhage, when she threw my childhood belongings into dumpsters, when school bullies chanted sewer rat as she watched, where was her innocence? If her mother could steal husbands, why can't others return the favor? Consider this premarital quality control. Any man easily seduced deserves dumping. If she ever gains clarity, she should thank me. I would sincerely tell her. No need to be so formal. This is exactly what your big sister should do.